How can you generate high-resolution 3D models from a 2D image? Well, with the Sparse Representation and Construction for high-resolution 3D shapes modeling, also known as Sparc3D, you can do just that. This is the page with the abstract and lots of different examples of what they've done. But you don't have to do much to have this work. If you click on the demo, this takes you to a Hugging Face workspace. There's a little bit of controversy about how this group is using GitHub, but more on that at the end. Once you come to this space, you can click to upload an image. In this case, I've uploaded an Albrecht Dürer print of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. This is in the public domain and is a wonderful print. This is to show you that you'll get something if you just upload any 2D image, but this is only going to cut out part of this because the algorithm may not know what you want. You're going to get much better results if you cut something out first. Bring it into your graphics program so then you can upload an image that's already cut out. This is the original Albrecht Dürer, the Four Horsemen from the Apocalypse print. It's amazing, but it has a lot of information in it. So you could have this whole print just like this, or you could select parts of it on its own. For example, I selected out just the horse. You can see it here. But the horse is missing some different pieces, so all of the horse isn't included. One way to fix that is just to use generative fill or the clone stamp tool or a combination to add things in. That's what I did. I added in the rest of this and added just enough of the trident and the back of the horse to be able to get a good generation. There's no right or wrong way to go about that. Just use any image editing skills that you have and then get to something that can be selected out like this. This will work a lot better for the algorithm, especially for drawn art. It's amazing that the algorithm is even capable of processing this drawn image into a 3D model. So here I have the horseman and I've cut it out, added some rear legs to the horse and cleaned it up a little bit. You don't have to be perfect, but this is going to help the generator know what you want to generate. Once you have your image uploaded, just click generate. This will put it into the queue and you'll see how many tasks are waiting. As long as you keep this browser tab open, eventually you'll be able to come back and download a GLB file of your model. So just be patient. Here's the same horseman from the Albrecht Dürer print. And now that it's cut out and a little bit of extra horse generated in the back, I get a much better model. This goes around and tries to make all of the model. I could definitely get some improvement here if I would have drawn in another leg for the character. You can see how it's cut off right there. But that's easy to fix in a 3D modeling program, but it could also have been done ahead of time. This is pretty interesting and pretty neat because now I have a 3D version of this. It may not be perfect, but it's a great place to start or even just 3D print it as is. Once again, look at the top. While it is different, if I rotate it to approximately the same angle, I'm going to get that main face, and it's pretty great. So it has a lot of the elements, a lot to be improved, but this is a lot easier than starting from a square or a cube from scratch in Blender or Mudbox or ZBrush. When you click download, this will download a GLB file that you can import directly into Blender. Hopefully you can import your own models from 2D images and then 3D print them with Sparc3D. Even though it's often best to go ahead and cut out the figures or the object from the image or the background so you can generate a nice clean mesh, here I have this print from the New York Public Library Public Domain collection. It offers a pretty nice mesh, just as is. As you can see here, once the model is imported into Blender, even with this background not cut out, it still was able to figure out where the characters were and make a pretty good 3D model. Of course, there's all kinds of things that are not the same. This is obviously not that character, but for something that is automatically generated and gives you such a high quality mesh, this is a really great place to start if you wanted to use these characters for a study or mock something up or start cutting different parts of the models and assembling them together. It's a great way to generate parts and try to explore things in a creative way. Of course, you're going to get all the goofy algorithmic nonsense. As you can see, these aren't really hands, but depending on what your model is, and if you have enough information for the algorithm to figure it out, you can get pretty good meshes. This is kind of the worst case scenario, line drawings. It works much better with photos or anything that has some rendering to it. This flat surface artwork, while really cool, makes it difficult for the algorithm to know what to generate. So try many different things and then see what kind of models you can get out of Sparc3D 3D mesh generation. In the beginning, that there's a little bit of controversy about how Sparc3D is using the spaces of GitHub and Hugging Face. For example, if I go to the GitHub page, and then I go to issues, you can see all kinds of different comments. Usually this is about code, but sometimes here we have things like how shameless, your actions deserve strong commendation, another closed source 3D generator, open source added donation link. For example, here we have stop using GitHub as an advertisement for your services rather than an open source community. GitHub can have closed source and open source projects. As you can see here, Hitem3D is their commercial product. It is the same model. They are getting people to try it out and buy into the project with a seemingly promise to release the code, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. To be fair, even though they are using an iframe in Hugging Face, which is usually not the way things are done, they are giving free generations. And if you sign up to Hitem3D, you get 2 models with textures for free. While it's not the most egregious use of online services, I think the creators of this could be a little bit more open about how they are using it. Everything seems to be more research driven. Well, right here it does say code may be released upon approval of Math Magic, and there's a lot of work being done by that may. I think that they could be a little bit more upfront about their real aspirations and whether or not they're going to release the code or if this is always going to be a closed source. It's okay to have something closed source, just be upfront about it. Happy 3D modeling.